Welcome to Essential Piano Practice Warm-Up Exercise number 2, Triplet Patterns. It's always necessary to begin each practice session with technique-building finger exercises as a warm-up. This fantastic exercise will build strong fingers, allow your coordination to flourish, and instill the proper hand position. It'll also enable the fingers to become accustomed to new shapes, and it teaches the wrist and arm how to relax. We'll be playing in 4/4 time with triplets, that is, 3 eighth notes to 1 count. We'll move up and then down 1 octave, hands alone, using 3 different fingerings. We will pay extra attention to your wrist movement. For the greatest benefit, it is important for this exercise to be applied to all key signatures, major and minor. Let's get started. We'll first be using fingers 1, 2, and 3. The first triplet will begin with the right hand thumb on C. Then the next triplet will begin with the thumb on D. Then E, going up the octave until your thumb plays the higher C. Then we'll move back down the octave, beginning with the third finger on the higher C, and then the next triplet will begin with the third finger on B, then A, and then it'll continue on down in triplets until your third finger plays the middle C. As we begin, keep your wrist tall. You don't want your wrist to become lowered like that. Keep your knuckles tall. You don't want this to happen. And keep your fingers rounded and tall. You don't want this knuckle to cave in or your fingers to flatten out. On the first note of each triplet, have a slight downward wrist movement and then an upward wrist movement. It's gentle. Down, up, up. This trains your hand and your wrist and your arm to remain relaxed. So starting on C with the thumb, let's begin. Down, up, down, up. Keep it gentle. We're on A. And here's our thumb on C. To move down the octave, begin with your third finger on the high C with the down movement of the wrist. Down, up, down, up. Keep your fingers tall and rounded. If you feel like you're ready, try it a little faster. Coming back down with the third finger. You can see how the wrist movement will enable some fast playing. Let's begin with the second finger on middle C, moving up. Here we go. Starting with the fourth finger on the higher C, let's move down until the fourth finger plays middle C. Tall fingers. Try this 2, 3, 4 fingering a little faster if you feel comfortable. Here we go. Coming down. And now for the third fingering. 3, 4, 5. It's especially important to keep the correct hand position with this fingering. There's a tendency to allow the outside of the hand, where the fifth finger is, to flatten or cave in. So we don't want this to happen. Keep your hand tall so that the weak part of the hand develops strength, like this. Here we go, keeping a tall hand, 3, 4, 5. Now for the fifth finger on the higher C. Keep it tall. And if you feel ready, a little bit faster. Coming back down. Excellent. It's important to apply this exercise to other key signatures. You'll play this exact exercise in everything that has been demonstrated in all other key signatures, major and minor. One example could be E major with F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp in the key signature. So we would start with fingers 1, 2, 3, remembering your wrist motion and your hand position, starting on E, playing in this key signature, fingers 1, 2, 3. Here we go. We'll play it at a medium tempo. Third finger will begin on E to come down. And now in E major for fingers 2, 3, and 4, beginning with the second finger on E, keep your hand tall. Fourth finger begins on E. And now for fingers 3, 4, 5. You can move your hand in and out of the keys to accommodate for the black notes. Now for the fifth finger on E, coming down, keep your hand tall. And how about a minor key? Let's say G harmonic minor. G harmonic minor has a B flat and an E flat in the key signature, plus a raised seventh tone, which in this case will be an F sharp. Starting on G with the thumb, remembering this key signature and the raised seventh. It's going to sound different. Here's our E flat. Here's our raised seventh. Coming back down, begin on the third finger on G. And now for fingers 2, 3, 4. Tall hand, remember your wrist motion. Fourth finger on G to come down. Keep it steady. for fingers 3, 4, 5. Starting on the 5th finger to come down, stay tall. Excellent work. You can see how this begins to shape the hands so that you can play different patterns when you're learning new music. Let's move to the left hand. Place your left hand thumb on middle C. We'll be moving down the scale, so the first triplet will begin on C, and then the thumb will begin the next triplet on B, and then A. Continue down the octave until your thumb plays the lower C. Next, begin on the lower C with the 3rd finger, moving up the scale in triplets until the 3rd finger arrives back at middle C. Remember the wrist motion, a gentle down movement on the first note of the triplet, and a gentle up movement on the 2nd and the 3rd notes of the triplet. Here it is again. Starting on middle C with the thumb, here we go. Coming back up with the 3rd finger on C. Remember your wrist movement. Still using fingers 1, 2, 3, let's play this a little faster. Coming back up, 3rd finger. Now let's go to our next fingering, 2, 3, 4. Place your 2nd finger on the middle C, moving down with our triplets and the wrist motion. Here we go, nice and slow. Down, up, up, curve your fingers. Keep your wrist level and tall. Now 4th finger, coming up, down, up, up, down, up, up. Let's try this fingering, 2, 3, 4, a little faster. Coming back up. For fingers 3, 4, 5, remember to keep your hand, knuckles, and fingers tall while incorporating this wrist motion, especially the outer part of your hand with the 5th finger. You don't want your hand to collapse. Keep the outer part of your hand nice and tall and strong. Place your 3rd finger on middle C, playing slow first. Down, up, up. Check that outer part of your hand. Coming back up, starting with the 5th finger, nice and tall. Let's try this a little faster. 5th finger. It's important to apply this exercise to other key signatures. You'll play this exact exercise and everything that's been demonstrated in all other key signatures. For example, the key of D flat major. D flat major has B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat in the key signature. Let's start with fingers 1, 2, 3, and I'll play this just at a medium tempo. Third finger coming up. And now for the next fingering, 2, 3, 4. Starting on the fourth finger. It really changes the exercise, changing the key. And now for fingers 3, 4, 5. Remember to keep the fifth finger tall, that outside part of your hand tall. Coming up, starting with the fifth finger on D flat. Experiment with lots of different tempos. You've done some excellent practice through this exercise. Great work! Be sure to apply this exercise to all key signatures. You will experience some remarkable progress with your technique. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you receive the latest training, teaching, and performance videos.